I'll show this. This is a compilation of Bibi Netanyahu repeatedly requesting U.S. interference in various countries, specifically in the Muslim world, and it shows what Israel has been from the start. Danny Gutierrez says, check out Richard Becker's Palestine, Israel, and the U.S. Empire. Yes. I've talked to Danny about that one. I've heard great things. I haven't read it myself. Um, but this clip shows really what the essence of Zionism has always been. It's always been a colonial outpost of Western, now U.S. led imperialism. So let's give this a watch.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least.
Tremendous positive effects on the region. Oh, you mean like the death of millions of innocent people? A war where it's been shown that 90-something% of the people killed were innocent civilians? A war that we had to lie to convince the people to convince the people to let us join. A war that has displaced millions and millions and tens of millions of people. That's the tremendously positive effect that it brought to the region, a country that now is a war-torn country that is just slowly attempting to regain some form of stability and sovereignty, but that was set back because of decades and decades and decades of imperialist attacks and manipulations against the progressive Marxist secular forces. It's absurd.
I would in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. All stand together to...
Incredible. It's insane that the U.S. allows its Middle Eastern proxy to behave in these forms. Because the only reason why they hate Trump, it's not because he's actually anti-deep state or going to drain the swamp, but because he's the sort of idiot that says the quiet part out loud, that brings the mask of empire down because of incompetence, whatever might be the case, but that brings the ideological justification for events down and allows the real purpose behind our meddling in various countries' affairs to be shown. And so, as he's done with Venezuela, he's repeated, when I was president, we almost had Venezuela's oil. You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say that we're interfering in Venezuela because it's a dictatorship, a totalitarian government that's repressing human rights and violating human rights and doing all of these horrible things, and therefore we have to intervene. Whilst the reality is always we want to take their oil and overthrow their socialist government so that the resources of the people belong to the capitalist imperialists and not to the people. But Trump comes out and says it, and Bibi here is the same thing. Like, he's just calling out for regime change, very explicitly. So,
to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror. I know that no matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel.
There it is. The personification of American imperialism in the Middle East.